it's great to be here. Thank you for having me here. And I've been really interested hearing from all the other panelists as well, to hear their stories and everything. So yeah, like Mark said, I started my role in the civil service recently. So that's the organisation that supports the government that's elected to in the day-to-day running of the country, basically. So it's a big organisation. There's lots of different roles within it. And I started in January of this year. So before that, I was at university. I was studying philosophy, religion and ethics at university. But today I want to talk to you about how I got to the job that I'm in now, and the different experiences that I've done to get to this point. So for me, I did lots of different things to kind of learn about what I was interested in. So when I was at school, so I'm going to start from the beginning and kind of move forward to now. So I did some work experience when I was about 15 or 16, because I knew I was interested in politics and I kind of wanted to learn more. So I went and did some work experience for about a week with my local MP. And I didn't know if the MP would accept people for work experience, but I just emailed them and said, I'm interested, would you like me, to come and work in your office? And they said, yeah, come for a week and, you can do some work experience. So yeah, I went and did work experience there. I thought that was really interesting. And that is something I wanted to say, is that if you don't see something saying, oh, we accept work experience or we accept people for placements or anything, you could just drop an email or find out if they would accept you. I've done that for other things as well. I did some volunteering with a local homeless charity, and I was just dropping off some donations to the charity shop, and I just got chatting with the person that worked there. And they offered me a job in the charity shop, but it was actually during the pandemic last year. It was in the summer when things were a bit more opened up, and everyone had to wear masks. And I said, sorry, I don't think I could do that because I wouldn't be able to lip read, everyone wearing the mask. It'd be a communication barrier. So I asked if there was anything else I could do, and they said I could go and work in the office doing kind of administrative tasks on the computer, and I thought that'd be interesting. I know that I could have asked them to make adjustments for the masks so that I could work in charity shop, but I actually kind of wanted to be sitting down with a cup of tea on their computer instead, so that worked well for me. But yeah, so that's just to say, if there is something that you're interested in doing, just kind of ask and see if you can do it. Another thing that I did to find out more about what opportunities there were in the world of work was I did a internship. So an internship is like work experience, but it can be paid sometimes. So this was a paid internship. So it was 6 weeks, and it was with the civil service again. And that internship was open for applications from students who were from diverse backgrounds. So they included disabilities among those criteria. So because of my deafness, I was eligible for that. So that's another thing to know, is that sometimes there are kind of opportunities, so like work experience or internships or anything like that are aimed at people, for example, with a disability. So that's something that you can look out for. There's something else called Change 100, which is run by Leonard Cheshire, which is the charity, and they match disabled students, university students, to businesses or organisations to do work placements. It's not something I've done, but it's something that I know people have done. So yeah, this internship I did was called the Summer Diversity Internship Programme, and that was 6 weeks, like I said. So I applied for that online, and there were kind of various application stages. And at the beginning of that, there was the opportunity to disclose any disability you had in order to get reasonable adjustments for the process. And so I decided that I would. It's optional, you don't have to, but I thought it'd be useful because there may be some adjustments in that process that I needed. So for example, there was online tests as one of the stages, and because I had disclosed my deafness, I asked for extra time for those tests, and they were happy to give me that. So that meant I had a bit longer to do it and to kind of process any instructions and things like that. Then I was invited to an interview, and they offered me a phone interview, so a phone call interview. And I had to email them and say, sorry, I can't do a phone call interview. I need to be able to live with you, I need to be able to see you. So they offered me a video interview. So that was good. That meant I could access it. So yes, it's important to make sure that if you kind of have any adjustments at interview that you ask for them, you not to be embarrassed, because I always think if they ask you for an interview, it means that they're interested in you. They liked your application and they might want to hire you. So they want you to do well in that interview. So it's important to make sure that you ask for those adjustments that you need. So then I got offered the placement, and at the beginning, before I started, I met with my manager, and who was going to be my manager in that placement, and we had a kind of discussion about what the job was going to be, what the role was going to be, but also about any adjustments that I needed. Because again, I told them, about my deafness and that I might need some adjustments. I did that before this job as well that I'm currently in. I met with my manager and kind of talked to them about anything I might need. So for example, I said about not really being able to use the phone and to, be using video call. Obviously, I've started this job right now in COVID time, so there is no face-to-face. So we use video call a lot. Earlier it was mentioned about MS Teams and using captions, and that's again something we use, so I can use the captions on that as well. But when I was doing this placement, it was face-to-face, so there was a few adjustments that I could have there. So for example, I had a radio aid. I still have it, so if we're back face-to-face, I can use that again. I got given that as part of the disabled students allowance. So that's money from the government as a university student that I was given in order to fund any equipment or anything I needed. It also covers interpreters and things like that, or communication support. So I can keep that radio aid that was paid for me, and I can keep it. So I've got that and I can use that at my job. So if I go to training, I can give that to the speaker, the presenter, the training, and so I can kind of hear them. Access to work is something that would fund a radio aid as well. Is that something you needed? So that's also money that's given by the government, but it's for in the workplace. So you could use that as well if you needed it. Yeah. So yeah. Also, so yeah, that's kind of some adjustments I've asked for. Also, one thing that I think is really important and that I have done is to kind of be open about my deafness and any adjustments that I need. So when I talked about how when I met with my manager, I explained and talked to them about anything I needed, but also with my colleagues when I met them for the first time. So I just, at the beginning of meeting them, I said, I'm deaf and this is what I need. This is how you can communicate with me. If you could do that, that'd be really great. And so it's nerve-wracking to do that because, you're kind of, it can be scary about what people will think. But from my experiences, it's always really positive, and people want to be able to help you. They want you included in the team. They want to be able to support you. So it's definitely good to do. I think kind of that's my tips. But yeah, I think my top tip would be to tell people what you need, because they want to help you, and kind of it's always a good thing.